Japan jolted into a turbulent time full of wars and reform. It was a time known as the Meiji Restoration, which started when young Michitu took the throne at age 14. Meiji means enlightened rule, and Meiji reformers strove to strengthen Japanese rule and influence. Let us delve deeper into this vital point in Japanese history. On February 3rd, 1867, Michitu, or Meiji the Great, took the Japanese throne. A year later, he enacted his first major reform of moving the Japanese capital from Kyoto to Tokyo. Emperor Meiji began making drastic reforms in an attempt to catch up with the more modern Western powers. He aimed to make Japan a democratic state with equality for all his people. In 1873, religious freedom was granted throughout the empire. In the next decades of the Meiji's reign, principles of Confucianism and Shinto, including emperor worship, were emphasized and taught at universities. One of his next reforms was recreating the Japanese military. An army was fashioned after the Prussian force and a navy after Britain's. This reform would prove crucial during the Sino-Japanese and Russo-Japanese wars. Going into the industrial age, Japan focused on transforming the former agrarian colony of Tokugawa Japan into an industrial economy. Many scholars were sent abroad to study Western sciences and languages. Universities brought foreign experts to teach in Japan. During this time, the government directly supported the prospering of family businesses called zaibatsu. These financial cliques rose to prominence in the height of the Meiji era. But unfortunately, large financial expenditures led to a financial crisis in the 1880s. This was followed by reform in the currency system and the establishment of the Bank of Japan. One of the most controversial reforms was in 1877 against the samurai, taking most of their power. 9 years into the Meiji era, disaffected samurai revolted against the new imperial government. The revolt, now known as the Satsumo Rebellion, lasted from January 29, 1877 until September of that year. The rebellion was crushed and its leader, Seigo Takemono, ended his life. Seigo's rebellion was the last serious uprising against the new government. During this turbulent time, the textile industry boomed and remained Japan's largest industry until World War II. In 1889, Japan installed its parliamentary, or European-style, constitution. It created a parliament for Japan called the Diet, with the emperor solely supreme over executive and legislative affairs.
日本の未来は戦争にかかっている。
Conflicts of interest in Korea led to the Sino-Japanese War against China in 1894. 1 year later, Japan reigned victorious, and China was forced to cede Taiwan to Japan and give up all claims to Korea. This was the first of many conflicts over Korea, the next being against Russia in the Russia-Japanese War. Japan won the war after a year in 1905, for the first time gaining international respect.
305主炮的榴弹只有3发，定远镇远，每门主炮只有3发榴弹。 不，是2艘舰8门主炮，一共只有3发榴弹。
Japan annexed Korea in 1910, in the middle of an 8-year economic boom. In 1912, the Supreme Meiji the Great died in Tokyo, ending the ruling clique of the elder statesmen known as Meiji. World War I broke out in 1914, jolting Japan into a new imperial age. The Meiji era proved crucial in influencing Japanese culture then and today. We can only thank Emperor Meiji for these then drastic reforms to improve the lives of his people and his people.